we had to get right from 18 to 19 because I just looked over it again. I was like, holy crap, how much stuff happened in this issue? A lot. That's how much. A lot of stuff happened in this issue. Like, you know, the floodgates are breaking on every side, and according to Snyder and Company, issue 20 is what they consider the end of the story's first arc. So I mean, you get why floodgates are pouring open. All this intense crap is going on right before the big finale of the first act. So yeah, more power to him. It worked out. So we've got, you know, mentally out of it Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, and she starts beating the crap out of Red Hood and Batwoman. She embarrasses them pretty bad. Barbara Gordon does not hold back, and like, you know, you see what it looks like from her perspective, and she sees, you know, Red Hood appears to be the Joker, and Batwoman appears to be James Gordon Jr., so of course, you know, seeing the people she most fears and despises all at once, she then, you know, starts to wail on them again. It's an embarrassment. At first, at least, and then, like, there's a bit of a weird scene where, like, you know, Jason wakes her up, and he, like, you know, he wakes her up by, like, reminding her of the first time they met, and, like, she starts sobbing into him and everything, and just, God, do not give me a Barbara Gordon, Jason Todd romance, please. Please. Give me a Jason Todd and Harper Row romance so I can be like, yeah, kill them both somehow, kill them both somehow. I was born too late. I would have been on the phone to be like, kill Jason Todd, please, please. Come on, Bat Hotline. Please kill Jason Todd. Hang up. Please kill Jason Todd. Hang up. Please kill Jason Todd. I would have been one of those people. If they did the same thing for Harper, I would be one of those people for Harper. Or, like, you know, at least get him out of the picture as much as there. Although I will admit, Jason feels like he has more reason to be here. He feels like he has more right to be in this 20th anniversary series. Not 20th. Holy shit, what am I thinking? It's the 75th anniversary. Shit, how far off? Whole 55 years off, folks. That's me. That's about how long it took me to start doing the vlogs again. Zing. Okay, so that's going on. They defeat the guy who's making the knockoff technology. He tries to use it on Batwoman. Batwoman's got her own tech that she's stolen from the bad guys of Gotham. Which, I'll say that's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool that Batwoman has stolen Rogues Gallery technology. Now, with that said, it's like, why does she still have a costume? It seems like Batman would have drawn the line in here somewhere, but, like, I don't really know what Batwoman's connection with everybody is. I don't know how tight she and Batman are, honestly, so she, from what I understand, she's hardly involved most of the time. She's just someone else who works out of Gotham and happens to wear a batsuit, which, like, you would think connects her very closely, but it doesn't seem to. She doesn't have a terribly close relationship with what we see with Barbara and Jason, but, you know, she's helping out, and I'm okay with her being there. I mean, as we've established, she has maybe one of my favorite costumes ever. It's a fantastic look. So they ward off that guy, the guy who made the technology that put Gordon in jail, and they're chasing after him through the jungle, so that goes on. Batman, Jason Bard, and Croc are all hunting through the whole sewer system, and they eventually find the Ten-Eyed Man deep underneath Arkham, and he's doing something tangentially related to what's going on with Deacon Blackfire, but it's not entirely clear because the Blackfire stuff and the Arkham stuff isn't crossing streams very well with the rest of Eternal, admittedly, so that's going on. So yeah, Batman has a brief fight with the Ten-Eyed Man. We see reanimated corpses in the sewers and everything, and it's nice and pleasantly unpleasant. Who's the artist on this issue? Because I actually liked him. I liked whoever the artist was on this one. Emmanuel Simeone? Emmanuel Simoni. Yeah, he did a fine job. I liked his work. You don't really get a sense from the cover, but like, it ranges actually from like really nice stuff like this. It's nice and clean. It's like there's a little too much overbearing detail to be dust and wind, but still. And then other panels get really dirty and really like, especially when like Batgirl's beating up Jason and she sees, the Joker's cut off, barely back there with a belt face. Like, that's pretty screwed up. And that looks great when he does it. It's very like, excellent grit when there needs to be. Nice, clean, the colors are really good when they need to be. It alternates. And you know what? I'm fine with that. That works out. That works out. I kind of like the dichotomy of the style. So that's going on between those two storylines. There's a minute or two with Tim where, like, ultimately we get the resolution that Hannibal Elliott was not really, let me remind myself, because I did reread it, but again, like, it's a blink and you'll miss it. He's not really, the whole nanobot thing, like, they are his nanobots, but he didn't do it. He's, they're not taking him in, they're not trying to fight him off. It's like, he's just observing Tim and Harper and all this, this glorious tech savviness Harper has, which still doesn't make any sense. Again, I keep going back to this, but that's because it's such a good point to go back to. When Steph first started getting technology, she really had to learn it. She really had to work into it. There wasn't, there was a lot of thinking on her feet. She didn't know these things immediately most of the time. Steph began as an amateur. Spoiler was an amateur through and through. That's not a bad thing. That just gave her plenty of room to evolve. Even when she started in the Batgirl role, she was not very, there was still a lot of improvising. There was still a lot of, I don't necessarily know what to do. I mean, she falls on her ass during one of her first big catches and all that. But, again, that just shows, like, it gives plenty of room to develop. And then when she is an incredibly competent superhero by the end, and able to take out a speedster even, which, like, she takes out a speedster, she takes out a hulking supersonic charged warrior Amazon lady of some kind. It was all armor, but still, like, she takes out some relatively high-ranking bad guys. Say nothing of the fact that she fights off the effects of Black Mercy. Yeah, but the point is, she had years to grow into that. You have plenty of time to move into that role, whereas, again, Harper doesn't feel like she deserves it. She feels like she was created and out of nowhere. She's this girl from the slums who knows how to work tasers and manipulate monkey arm technology and all this, and ugh. It could also be that I just don't like her design. That certainly goes to it, too. There's something to be said for the heavy metal chick that I do really, really like. But, like, there's a fine line wherein, like, the heavy metal chick is cool, and when it just drops off in quality and just, like, grosses me out. And Harper falls definitely into that second category. But it's not just that. It's not just that she's got facial piercings and facial piercings freak me out. It's not just stuff like that. It's also her personality. It's also that I find her insufferable. It's also that I so don't want to see her in that Bluebird spot. Bluebird's a decent name for a Batman sidekick, too. She's, gonna have electric guns and all this, and ugh. Come on, Snyder. You can do better than this. You got Steph back already. You can do better than this. Cassandra's been unembargoed. You can do better than this. Yeah, by the way, Cassandra Cain has been unembargoed. She hasn't been in a main series comic yet. She was in Batgirl Future's End, and you know what? Good enough for me. That's a good sign of things to come. We better see her back here soon, but I no longer have to think like, they're trying to pretend she doesn't exist, because we saw her, and in Future's End universe, she exists. Which means she's out there somewhere alive, 5 years younger right now. She's in this universe somewhere. And I hope I hope to death we see her sometime soon. So that was Cassie's stuff. And then the other major plotline that was going on, I wouldn't forget it, is that yes, the riots are finally breaking out in Blackgate. One-eyed Russian lady has had the living crap kicked out of her. And she gets Gordon out of his cell. And she just tells him, you need to get out there. You need to kick some ass. You need to go out there and control this situation. It's like, he's an unarmed man. I know he used to be the commissioner of police. He's an unarmed man, and you're sending him out there against Falcone and Penguin thugs? And then Gordon promptly proves that idea of mine wrong when he goes out and kicks huge amounts of ass. Including, but not limited to, bashing people in with fire extinguishers. Gordon is at some of his finest here. So, yeah, the first arc, of course, ends with issue 20. So, I'll wrap up my feelings on the last issue and the first arc over at issue 20.